Let's talk about poop. Come on, I knew you were going to spoil that. That was going to be a good one. What's poop? And colonoscopy has to do with the buying process of the rural property. Hey, I'm Sergej from neuHouzz team. Let's talk about septic systems. In 2011, when I moved here in the Okanagan, I purchased a rural setting property. It came with a septic system, not a municipal sewer like many of you are used to. So I had to learn about it, and it was maybe daunting up front, but nothing scary and very easy to understand. In layman's terms, let's walk through that. You have a house, you have a septic system. Now, components of the septic systems are holding tank, where all of the discharge and effluent gets gathered in. From the holding tank, once it gets full, because sometimes there are 800 gallons, sometimes 1,200 gallons. So from there, the discharge, the effluent, filtered, flows into distribution box, which is much smaller box. In the old days, it was concrete. These days, it's actually plastic. From that distribution box, you have fingers of pipe, usually 4-inch perforated. Think of this. This is distribution box, and that's your septic field. Critical component. You shouldn't be driving over it. You shouldn't be planting your gardens over it. Grass, everything else is good, but don't plant trees in the middle of it. Roots obviously going to damage that. Typically, we recommend a septic inspection in those situations. So how does it look? Well, you can choose how extensive of the inspection you want to do. Keep consideration, septic systems these days a little bit pricey to change or install. That could be anywhere between $35,000 to $60,000 if you have a failed system or need to build a new one. You can order an inspection where a septic company is going to arrive on site. They're going to pump the effluent from the holding tank, and they're going to examine it while they're doing if everything looks okay. It's called a visual inspection. You will get a small receipt saying that fog levels are good. By the way, not fog that we see in the morning, but fat, oil, and grease. And then they'll say that everything else looks okay. Basic visual inspection. However, what I often recommend to my buyers is to go to that next level. What does that look like? Think of colonoscopy for your septic system. The inspector takes a camera, inserts it in the outlet from this holding tank. The outlet flows into this distribution box. If we know where distribution box is and the lid is located, we can take the camera, drop the camera, and go into each individual line for the septic system. Why do we want to do that? If the system is 20, 30, 40 years old, maybe it's failing, maybe it's getting plugged, maybe water is standing there because the ground no longer is able to absorb that effluent because the biomat has built up so much under those pipes that it feels more like a wet swamp. There is a small fee that comes with that kind of inspection, usually between $600 to $800, but it's well worth the investment to know that you are buying $1 million home and you only have a $600 bill to make sure that that home is not going to cost you additional $35,000 or $60,000 to replace the new septic system. So hopefully this information was helpful. I'm Sergej from neuHouzz team. Reach out to us. We'll take care of you because who you work with doesn't matter.